Balancing family and business, working from home. Is that possible without going absolutely nuts? Yeah, well, of course it is. Loads of people are doing it. But here's a question. Can you do it? Well, I want to share with you 10 simple tips that when I'm finished sharing these tips with you, you're going to be able to give a resounding yes. I can work from home with my family. I'm not going to get distracted and I'm going to maintain my productivity. So my name is Anthony Charles. I am co-founder of Team Titanium, and I want to share with you my 10 tips to make sure that you can stay productive and sane when you're working from home, whether you are running your own business or just working from home. I want to help you to keep sane, and make sure you stick around for number one, because that's going to be my best one. And I bet you anything you would not have thought about this tip. Okay. First and foremost, before we get into things, let me just quickly get rid of some guilt, because I'm going to talk about being productive. I'm going to talk about small children. Easy for the teenagers. If you've got the teenagers, they're not a problem. Just pack them up, chuck them out the house. No, joking. Let's talk about the small children. If you've got children under 6 months old, then I just want to give you a pass. I've been there. And I'm going to give you my 10 tips to be productive. I think that for me personally, when the children were under 6 months, one of the best things that myself or my wife could do to be productive was to sleep. I wasn't even trying to be anything else. Get some sleep and not feel guilty about it. I mean, I needed some sleep. My wife needed sleep. It took her, I don't know for you, it took her the best part of a year to make a whole human being. And then when that child came into the world, that wasn't fun either. She needed some sleep. So outside of that, let's get on with this top 10. Number 10 is finding a great place to work from home, a great space to work from home. Think about where, start on the kitchen table and work from there and see where the best place for you to work is. I'm going to do a video that is all about different spaces and places to work. But just for now, I'll tell you what my experience was. When we first came into this house, it was fine. There was only two of us. I was at the kitchen table. When that wasn't working out so well, I had a little red table and a little fold-out chair. And anywhere where I would unfold my table and my chair, I was working and it was fine. And then the small people came along and they were everywhere. I don't know where they came from. All I know is that they were on the life support machine. That's the fridge. I fill the fridge up. They empty it. And so the circle of life continues. But jokes aside, I found that the best place for me to work was in what is effectively our back bedroom. It was a spare room at the time. I set up in there. Now it is still the office and it is also a storeroom. Find the best place to work for yourself. If you can't find a good space, and as I said, I'm going to do another video on this, but a couple of things. I have a cupboard just to my left here. If I wasn't moving out of this house pretty soon, I would set up in the cupboard, because I'd knock through the wall which leads into the cupboard in the room behind me, and that would give me enough space to work in the cupboard. I could sit in there, or I could just sit in front of the cupboard, but I could be right out the way of everybody else. And anytime my wife was upset with me, she could just close the door and leave me in there. Or when I'm not working, I can close the cupboard. But that's not going to be an option. But think about, be creative in the spaces that you use. Maybe you've got space in the garden that you can you can put something temporary or even something permanent out in the garden. And if you can't find a space in the home, let me tell you, I have done so much meetings and presentations in outside venues, free outside venues, coffee shops, cafes, etc. As I said, I'm going to do a whole video on this, but number 10 was finding a good place to work. Number 9 is those little people. What do you do with those small people? And what do you do about the distractions? Okay, if you've got really young children, and I still have one of my children, not so young, but when they're really young, it's really, really difficult to leave them by themselves. Even if you put them in the playpen and you let CBeebies be the babysitter for a while, I was guilty of that. And you give them the toys, they want you to be in the room with them. So what I found was, when I had to be in the room with the young one, I find it incredibly hard to focus. Not because the child was was distracting me, CBeebies was distracting me. I'll tell you something. There was a couple of programs. Baby Jake. Anybody remember that CBeebies is a channel in the UK, by the way, wherever you're listening. And there's another program called Mr. Bloom's Nursery. They had so many catchy songs. It was bad enough if I was in the room with the child. Sometimes I was in the other room and I hear the songs playing. I come in and I'm enjoying the program more than the children. So the times when I have to be in the room and I know that I'm going to be easily distracted, and I chose tasks that were almost distraction proof, clearing emails, clearing simple emails, not the complex ones where I'd have to give answers to and find files and attach them, etc., etc. It's clearing the emails, clearing up my desktop, filing stuff in our internal storage system, and just being able to do things whereby it didn't take so much brain power. Number 8 is setting clear boundaries. And what I mean by that is there are times when I'm working and I'm in the office and I can't be disturbed. And I may be on a Zoom call, I might be on a webinar, I might be doing on an important call, or I might be just doing something that needs my full focus. And when the doors close, the family know, don't come in there unless it's a real emergency. So sometimes I would have to speak to the kids and say, no music for now. What I mean by music is the noise that my children make when they are running through the house and screaming. I call it the music. I love it. But sometimes, depends on what I'm doing, then I will have to say to them, hold on, you can't do that. Well, number 7 is the school holidays. Now, Christmas doesn't count for us. I love Christmas. I enjoy Christmas. And when I down tools at Christmas, I'm off for about a week and a bit. And we just do what we want. We go to bed at stupid o'clock. We wake up at ridiculous o'clock and we watch all bad television. All the TV I couldn't watch throughout the whole year, I watch it at Christmas. But outside of Christmas, we still have to maintain schedules. We still have to be as organized as we could be. And don't get me wrong, it's not easy. I'm not just sitting there saying, look, we have got a regimental family and everything works. No. But the more organized you can be, the better it is for you. Sometimes you may have to send the kids away to what we call play center or summer camps and buy yourself some time. Play dates are fantastic. There are times where you can take the children and you can organize with other parents. They may be in business too, or even if they're not in business, they just need some free time. You take their kids, they take your kids at certain times, and that gives you free time. And in that free time, that's when you can be really, really productive in the work that you need to do. When it came down to the kids and picking up the kids from the school runs, then sometimes we would arrange with other parents because it all takes time. But if you're really clever and you say, look, you pick them up on Monday, Tuesday, I'll take Tuesday and Thursday. That time that I've got on Monday and Tuesday that I don't have to do the school run, I'd use it to be productive in the work that I'm doing. But as I said, not so easy all the time, but it takes discipline, it takes work, and it takes practice. And what does practice make? Practice makes better. Okay, number 6. Number 6 is looking after yourself. It's really important. Getting a good night's sleep. I've talked about sleep at the top of this video. Getting a good night's sleep is really, really important. Eating healthy. As you can see, I've got a long way to go on that. But eating healthy, when I'm eating well and I'm eating a good balanced diet, my clarity in the work I have to do is absolutely amazing. Drinking a lot of water, not just any water, good water. Get a good water filter and drink more water. Make sure you can put things like electrolytes into your water. Add that in so that you can really replenish yourself and replenish your body. Moving around is really, really important. And I'm not just talking about getting up and walking around. Schedule times in your day to get up and get out. Even if you go out and just walk around the block, you can do the garden, but do a bit more than that if you can. What I do is I schedule things like picking up prescriptions. If I've got a small, going to a local shop to do a small errand like buying milk, I will always time those things for my breaks from work. So I get up, walk away from the laptop or walk away from what I'm doing, I get out and I get myself some exercise. And I may go to the shop and back, but I may take the long way to come back just so that I'm exercising and moving my body. Take enough breaks and make sure they are outside of the house, particularly if you live in a place where you don't have a garden. Then do your best to get out. Number 5 is that schedule, being organized and building a routine. I've mentioned schedule, organized, routine a lot during this video so far, but building that routine is really important. A morning routine is absolutely important. Being able to get up, get washed, get dressed, and ready for work. I'm not talking about getting into your power suit and your business suit. You're working from home, so let's be realistic. But don't get up and be in your sleeping clothes and go to your desk and start sluggishly getting on with work. Give yourself that mental shift to say, I'm showered, I'm washed, and I am ready. I'm dressed and I'm ready for work. Work on your priorities. Work on that schedule. And remember, when you're talking about priorities, there are the important things and there are the urgent things. Get the important things done. Don't let the important things become urgent. I know the urgent things keep popping up all the time. You've got to sometimes leave those urgent things and get the important things done, because if you let the important become urgent, then you're really in trouble. One thing I ask myself a lot of time, I've got my schedule in place, but as I take on tasks, or if there's something that pops up and I'm not sure if I've got to do it or not, then I say WIN. I want to win in life. So the acronym for win is WIN. What's important now? I say to myself, is this what you need to be doing? Is this carrying you closer to those goals, dreams, and aspirations, the things you want to do, the things you want to have, the things you want to be, the things you want to share? If it's not, then I don't do it. Number 4 is having the winning mindset and working on your mindset, working on your motivation. Sometimes you're going to be feeling lost. Sometimes you're going to be feeling overwhelmed. You've got to work on that mindset and do what you can. One of the things that you can do, there's a fly flying in front of me. You can see me waving my hands like that. I'm not going to do a double take. He wants to get famous. Get your own channel. The things that I won't do is I won't watch certain kinds of news. I can't think of the last time I've watched the news and I've come away feeling absolutely motivating and absolutely ready to take on huge tasks. No. And guess what I found out? I don't know what it's like for you, but there's times I just won't watch the news. And guess what? When something's important enough, somebody will tell me about it. So work on that mindset. Number 3 is your attitude. And that attitude comes from having the right kind of mindset, because your attitude is going to determine your altitude. Another thing is to be, do, have. There's a lot of people who want to have things that haven't done what they needed to do to have those things. And they can't do those things they need to do because they haven't become the kind of person that can do those things so they can have those things. So you've got to be first, then you can do, and then you can have. And a lot of that comes down, you win most of your challenges that you have in life. You win them in your mind before you win them anywhere else. You become, then you can do, and then you can have. Okay, number 2 is to be where you are. What do I mean by that? Wherever you are, be there. When you're with your family, do family. When you're with your work, do work. I was so notoriously bad of doing my work and feeling absolutely guilty that I'm not doing anything with my family. And I just couldn't concentrate on my work. And then when I took the time out to do things with my family, I was constantly thinking about what I need to do in work. Sometimes I would take work with me. Even though I didn't touch it, I would just mentally think, oh, I'm going to take this with me. I'll just do this. I'll just do that. No, when I'm doing my family, I'm doing my family. When we go on our day trips and our excursions, I'm not thinking about work. And when I'm doing work, I'm doing work. So don't forget your family when you're on this, because it's easy to say, to be really tunnel vision. I know you want to achieve your dreams, goals, and aspirations. But one thing I can say about children is that they grow up really fast. Before you know it, they grow up really, really fast, and they're gone. So make sure you don't miss out on important things just because you're trying to build that dream of yours. And the last thing I'll say on this part is to share the dream. Share the dream with your family. Don't be like a zealot, but bear in mind that they might want to talk as well. So communication goes both ways. Sometimes the children will want to talk to you about something and you'll be listening to it and thinking, I have no interest in this. But you better smile and you better be interested in it, because one day they won't be there. They'll be talking to somebody else and they may not have a lot of time for you. So keep that communication, share that dream, and make them be part of the dream of what you are building. Do it together. And number one, I said to you, number one is to be creative. I found so many creative ways in solving the issues of working from home. When I couldn't work from home, of course, I'd be out in the coffee shops, hotel lobbies, and in cafes, and in workspaces. But one day I was feeding my neighbor's cats. They were away on holiday and I was feeding the cats. And every time I'd go in to feed the cats, I'd notice that, hold on a minute, house is empty. And I got a brainwave. And I contacted my neighbor and I said, look, do you mind if I go over to yours and do some work? Sit in the kitchen, do some work. They said, yeah, no problem. I've got a course and it's called Start and Complete Your Business Plan. It is a fantastic business plan builder. If you haven't got a business plan, you need to take the course. Click on the link below and check it out. But I recorded the entire course in my neighbor's home. I didn't have to tell my family to be quiet. I didn't have to figure out when was the best times to do the recording. I can just tell my neighbor, look, you're away, I'm going over there. And it's not just the holidays. They work 9 to 5. I work from home. So if I ever need a quiet space during the holidays, then I go over to theirs. Weekends, if they're away. That is being creative. So get really, really creative in finding spaces and finding places and being able to work from home efficiently. Now, if you're thinking of getting into business, or if you are already in business and you want to find out if you're really, really ready to grow that business, then download my free 20-question risk assessment. And it's going to take away the stress. It's going to take away the uncertainty that comes with starting or growing a business. So click on the link below, or it may be up on the screen. Copy and paste that link in and get your free 20-question risk assessment. You'll be glad that you did. In the meantime, all I can ask you to do is, if you've liked the content that I've given you today, you find it useful, then please like, please comment, please subscribe. Keep on being amazing. You know why? Because you are. And I'll speak to you soon.